Have you been following the investigation into the Benghazi scandal? It is widening. 4 people died. Top State Department officials in the coming weeks, that's on top of the questions they've already asked, hoping to learn more about what actually happened, not just that night in Libya, but what happened before and what happened after. Republican Congressman Peter King is a member of the Homeland Security Committee and a good friend to this program, and we thank you, Congressman, for coming in.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you.
A lot of important questions on this one. First of all, where is the investigation? How much have we learned and what's left?
Jamie, the more we learn, the more we realize we have to learn. The administration has still not told the full story. We still have not found out where that whole tale originated about the video. There's no one at all who was on the ground that night, said anything about a video, yet that became the story for the next 10 days to 2 weeks. How that originated, who did what, we still don't know exactly how those talking points were put together. You know, they put out the talking points, they put out the emails, but the fact is we still don't know where they came from. Jay Carney still denies the White House was not involved, but they were. Denies the State Department was not involved, but it is. So, no, this is going on. That's why Darrell Issa is going ahead with these additional witnesses.
Oh, I really commend him on asking these questions and pushing forward these investigations, many of which you're involved with. And, my question is, are we ever going to know? Because tell the American people why it's important to them to have answers on this particular issue.
Yeah, we have to know. There's some issues you can debate, you go around on, have an academic debate. The fact is 4 Americans lost their lives. And the government had been told in advance that their lives are at risk, or people in that area, their lives are at risk. Security wasn't provided. When Americans die in the line of battle, or Americans die when they're sent into a combat zone or a dangerous zone, the government has an absolute obligation to find out why it happened and how to prevent it in the future. We have not gotten those answers at all. We have an obligation to those 4 people who were killed, to their families, and also to Americans in the outposts around the world. They can't just pass this off as an old story the way Jay Carney tried to do it.
Secretary of State John Kerry promised, as the president often said, transparency in what goes on in the department. At the same time, you have to protect secrets. I understand that as well. But Victoria Nuland had been up for a promotion for some time, at least in line for it, and now the president is making a nomination that has me concerned. Are you, and if so, tell us why?
Yeah, I really have mixed feelings. One, she has had a distinguished career, but the fact is there are very real questions about what her role was in preparing those talking points. When you go through the emails, you see that she was concerned that it was going to come out that al-Qaeda was involved, and she was very concerned, how do we address this issue? She wasn't concerned at all about the issue of how she defends, the use of the videotape as an excuse. So I think she is one person who was the center of this as to who was there when those decisions were made, who from the White House, who from the CIA, who from the State Department. So her confirmation hearing is going to be very, very important. And
her nomination is a bit more controversial now. Forward in this process, as you said, we had not had a diplomat, as we did, killed in 30 years. And the talking points, just to remind folks, described what happened that night, and there were changes. Victoria Nuland involved in some email chains on that. I got to ask you this question, too, because with the IRS investigation, this investigation, and a lot of questions of the administration and those who testify. On the one hand, we have sovereign immunity in our country with government workers who sometimes can't be tried. Everybody's clamming up. Do you think that they will give the answers that are necessary, and is this a deliberate strategy by the administration to deflect from these controversies by making announcements, for example, about changing the war on terror approach?
Yeah, you almost have to think that. And I heard General Scales on before, when you have all these serious domestic issues and potential scandals, and have the president making a foreign policy speech, which really didn't say a lot. I mean, it sounded good. When you get down to it, there's not that much real change. Also, you're talking about what did people know, what was done. We still don't know what the president of the United States did the night that 4 Americans are being killed. That's unheard of. I mean, people were attacking George Bush. Where was he here? When was he then? With President Obama, we don't know what he did on the night of an attack. I mean, this is
You
incredible.
Don't even know, as a member of the Homeland Security Committee.
No one knows on the White House. That's essential to find out what was going on.
All right. I have a theory that as these investigations go on, we'll learn more, and you'll come back and tell us about it.
Absolutely. You got it, Jamie.
And I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.